What's up, internet? It's John, and Saturday, got a little bit of a light day. I don't know about you. Spending the morning getting some exercise in, hanging out with the kids, doing breakfast thing, you know, that entire routine. And I've got a haircut at 11, so I'm going to be headed to that. I've already done some writing and published a little bit of a post about distractions, easy distractions. I'll link it below. But as many of you know, I write every single day and have done that for a very long time. And I do most of my writing always in the morning. And now I vlog at least every day for a year, and so that's kind of my part of my morning process now. It's just writing, and then in terms of a vlog, thinking about my schedule and trying to remind myself to capture some footage as we go along. A little bit later this afternoon, I've got to do a bunch of different work administratively for the startup. We're looking at payroll and benefits, and as I mentioned previously in a couple of vlogs ago, we're looking to hire. We are looking to hire. I'm so excited. We're looking to bring on some staff members. But to do that, we have to have competitive benefits packages, competitive salaries, of course, and all of that other good, you know, important stuff that people want when they join a company, is to get paid and to be well compensated, not just financially, but with all the, you know, trimmings. I'm working now with brokerages and firms and technologies and tools, and if you have any suggestions, thoughts, or experience in building payroll systems and benefit systems, feel free to comment below. I'll take any advice that you have. But I gotta work through that and get some competitive pricing and some quotes and yada yada yada. Then we got a soccer game a little bit later with the oldest, so that should be fantastic. And then I've got a very important thing to do, is I got a new sticker. This is a new laptop sticker for my notebook that was resurrected from the dead when I spilled coffee all over it. So I'm rewarding myself with a $5 sticker. Same character though. One of my favorite characters of all time is Saitama. I'll link below to some of his stuff. He's the One Punch Man. One Punch Man! My kids and I love him, and he is just like the epitome of the, like, my childhood dream in terms of a superhero. He's awesome. Okay, anyway. What's up? What's up? Headed to get this cleaned up a bit. One of the challenges of doing this particular type of hairstyle with long on the top and short on the sides is you have to keep this kind of clean so it doesn't look like, so you don't look like a mess all the time. But this up here, it's like, you know, you just, if it's not tucked back like this, and it's a little bit of a mess as well. And so I'm in this really interesting stage with my hair. I think we all have interesting relationships with hair, by the way. I think in this interesting stage with my hair where I'm trying to decide how much I like it. And so I think part of my discussion today with my hairstylist is, what the heck do I do with this here? Anyway, these are smaller types of problems that I have in my life. There are much more significant problems that I need to solve. But for right now, that's what I'm doing. One thing, I had a really great question on the vlog. I'm sharing much more about the process of putting together a company. I'm sharing the process of being an entrepreneur and a founder, and building product and raising venture capital and all of that stuff. And someone actually asked a question which I thought I would address. Let me turn off this music. Explicitly was, someone asked very generally, like, what's the process of going from an idea to a product to raising venture? And that was a very wide net of a question, if you will. I boiled it down to, in a comment, I replied to his comment directly, and I've been giving it a little bit more thought since I responded. And the reality is that building a company, there's so many different ways to build a company. Typically broken into like two major types, where you bootstrap it, which means you pay for it yourself and you kind of get it to a profitability. And typically this is a little bit slower, it takes a little bit more time, but that's fine. You're the commander of your ship. You're in control. And then the other option is to venture finance it, or to get a loan, or to have some money injected into the business so that you can scale it and, grow it that way. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have more success or that you're guaranteed to have more success. In fact, in some cases, it's inversely proportional, depending on how mature you are as a professional and as a business person. But all that to say, you bootstrap, or you can get some money and get some help to put it together. But most importantly, when putting together a company, what I told this gentleman is that you have to solve a personal problem. Or in other words, you have to solve a problem that you are personally invested in solving. And I think the closer you are to that problem, the better. Now, there are many instances of people who are solving problems that they have no ideas about. They just thought it was a great opportunity, and they've been able to find partners and who might be closer, but then they're able to actually take that concept all the way to some sort of successful business. That's fine, but I think there's a huge distance between someone who's not familiar with a problem area and someone who is. And the closer you are to the actual problem, obviously, the more intimate you know about that problem, and as a consequence, the better solution you can actually come up with, which results in a better product and results in a better business. So I think you always start with yourself. Is there something within your life? Is there something that you personally struggle with, or that you know really well? And speaking out of that expertise, speaking out of that experience, allows you to really begin to build better products, better solutions. Secondly, is you just begin building. As you begin to test your hypothesis, test your assumptions, test your presumptions about what you think should be a good product, and you just build. Thirdly, you talk to customers, or early stage customers, or people who are genuinely interested in having this problem solved and having you do it for them. And they may be paid, they may be not. Volunteer probably for a while. But these are people who can give you legitimate, real, honest feedback. And you begin to create that feedback loop and cycle around your product so that you can begin to make the product and service actually better. And then after you do that for a while, you then begin to ask the question, how close am I to building a legitimate business that'll build revenue? And can I do this on my own? Can I do this without help from a financial partner? And I think that's, in the most generalized terms, is how you put together a company. Start with an idea, execute against the idea, talk to customers, and then ask the question, do I need help? Do I need financial help? Can I do this by myself, bootstrap, or do I need to find some financial partners, some venture capitalists, some angel investors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that covers probably most business scenarios, but I may be wrong. But that's certainly, in the last 3 or 4 businesses that I've built, that's how it works. So hopefully that's helpful, and hopefully that's clear enough. But otherwise, feel free to hit me up in questions in the comments, and I will do my best to answer any more questions that you might have. One final thing that I might add, and it's just because I've been thinking about it, chatting with my brother who's, doing YouTube full-time and experimenting with a number of other business opportunities as he's changing his career, is that it always takes longer than you originally plan. Because you begin to build something with a number of assumptions and presumptions about the difficulty, about how long it'll take, and you can almost be 100% guaranteed that you're wrong. That it's going to be harder, it's going to take more effort and more time than you had originally planned, and you just got to own that. You just have to, as best as you might try to estimate timetables, as best as you may try to guess how long things will take, it always takes longer. Because building a company is freaking hard. And that's just the way it is. There's no shortcut to building something of value. There's no shortcut to building a business. And 10 out of 10 times, as I've put together projects, it's always taken longer. And despite as many times as I've done it, I've not gotten actually much better at my estimations. And you would think that I would, but no. It's just that hard. There are more unknowns about your project, about your company, about your business than knowns. And you just have to own that. So, but I think that's important because most people will quit. If they don't achieve their initial benchmarks in terms of a timetable, they quit. And that's good because it wasn't as important as they thought it was to them. They don't have the mental and physical fortitude to pursue the project and hit those major milestones and get through those major roadblocks and issues and challenges. Great. Go do something else with your time. Go do something else with your life. There are many more things and problems to solve in this world, and you need to be fully committed to do it. Otherwise, it's gonna be a mediocre solution, and the world has a ton of mediocre solutions. Create a solution that's excellent. You might as well. So, anyway, I'm gonna go get a haircut now. What's up, buddy? Well, oh no. Fantastic. Cleaned it up. Think we're good. Go home and get ready for a soccer game. That's what's what. Soccer game. Whoa! It's windy, it's cold. Or not cold, it's chilly. Gonna kick up in the what? Yeah! I'm gonna get some coffee. It's about 2:15. Gotta get coffee at 2:15. That's the perfect timing for coffee for me.